Hello, everyone. I'm Sarah Montgomery. Welcome to our free webinar from Peace Within on basic mindfulness for vet med professionals. I thank you for taking time today to take care of yourself and for spending a precious 30 minutes with me on this beautiful afternoon. Today, we are going to learn some specific strategies, mindfulness strategies that you can use and apply to your daily life. And so my hope and goal is at the end of this session that you'll have some tangible things that you can go ahead and start trying today and throughout your time to promote your own well-being and your well-being journey. So first, I want to give you a plan of what we're going to be doing together this afternoon. So I am going to give a brief introduction of myself and why I'm here and my goals. And then I will go through what is mindfulness and the science of mindfulness, followed by 3 different approaches that you can use to mindfulness in your personal and professional lives, specifically breathing, awareness, and gratitude. After that, I'll tell you a little bit more about Peace Within, and I'll answer any questions or comments that you have along the way at the end. So if you have a question, please feel free to put it in the comment section and I'll take a look at it at the end and respond, or you can feel free to email us and contact us through our website. So, ready to get started? Let's go. I'm Sarah Montgomery. I am an education professor in Iowa, and my husband and I are founders of Peace Within. So I have been teaching and researching mindfulness for about the past 5 years. I actually learned about mindfulness when I was 19 years old, and my dad asked me to go to an 8-week mindfulness-based stress reduction program with him, offered by a local community group in my hometown one summer when I was home from college. And it was a life-changing experience where I learned strategies that I've applied in my daily life since then. About 5 years ago, one of my undergraduate students came to me and she asked if I would help lead her honors thesis research, and she wanted to research mindfulness and education. And it was as if a light bulb went off, because it was an opportunity for me to see how my personal practice and interests could intersect with my professional practice and interests. And what was really wonderful about that project is that it got me into the literature and into the research on mindfulness. And I was able to see over the past 2 decades the incredible work that has been done and the findings that are emerging regarding how this can impact our well-being, and specifically in certain professions and contexts. So that's been exciting. I started teaching these practices and the research that I was doing and was learning to both my undergraduate and graduate students at my university, and they just wanted more. They were just like, please teach us more, teach us more. What new things do you have? And so that was very encouraging. And it also is for me a reminder that I think we all really want to be well. We all want to have calm moments and more peace in our lives and to feel joy. And I think we also want that for our loved ones. And so that's what I'm doing. That's my work. My husband and I have explored for about a year how we could share my teaching and learning with a wider audience. And initially we thought, well, we'll help teachers. I know teachers are stressed, right? And then one afternoon when my husband was at a local coffee shop, our dear friend who's a veterinarian stopped through the coffee shop, and they chatted about family and life and what was new. And he just kept asking about my research and what I was doing. And Zach was telling him about mindfulness and a book that I was writing and some other projects that I was doing. And he stopped and he said, wow, veterinarians could really use that. You should help us. And it was a pivotal moment because we have been doing animal rescue for a number of years. He is a very dear friend. My cousin, who's watching with us now, is a vet tech. We have close relationships with vet med professionals and did not yet understand at that time the realities that you all face. And so we started doing our work and we rolled up our sleeves and we interviewed 100 vet med professionals and learned about the joys and the challenges of the work. And that's what's informed what we're doing today, which is launching an online platform called Peace Within, where we teach evidence-based short mindfulness strategies that you can apply to your daily life. So let's go ahead and try one together. I'm going to be demoing several different practices throughout our time together. So I ask you to be playful and open and try things out if you want to. So the first that I'm going to do is called the 5-finger breath. This is one that people find really, really helpful. And we actually have this on our website as a free demo. So you can return to it whenever you want to at peacewithinmindfulness.com. So the way that it works is you can go ahead and hold up one of your hands, and with your other hand, you use your index finger to trace your hand, to trace your fingers. And I'm going to show you how to do it first, and then I'll give you a chance and we can do it together. So you inhale as you move up each finger, and then you exhale as you move down each finger. And then inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale all the way until you finish your whole hand. The goal is to take your time to really notice your breath and the tactile experience, and also just to give yourself a moment to pause. So definitely try to take your time. So let's try that together. And you can have your eyes open or closed, whatever's most comfortable for you. So inhale as you move up, exhale as you move down, and continue. And I invite you to take a moment as you wrap that up to just check in and see how you feel and what you notice after doing that. And then if your eyes were closed, you can open them back up. The thing about your breath is that you can use it to connect to your body, to press pause, and to help regulate your nervous system, to work with your nervous system to feel more calm. That's a practice, the 5-finger breath, that you could do under the table. No one needs to know you're doing it, or in your car before you try to fall asleep at night, or maybe before you go into the hospital or a tough appointment. It's very applicable throughout the day, and it's quick and subtle. So I hope that you found that helpful. So now, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness, according to Jon Kabat-Zinn, who is the founder of the Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction Program out of the University of Massachusetts, he defines it as the act of paying attention on purpose to the present moment without judgment. And so what does that mean? That means that you're paying attention to this very moment right now and what's unfolding, not the past, not tomorrow, not even this evening or later today, but just really this moment right now, and noticing, pausing, reflecting, giving yourself a chance to touch base with your feelings, with your emotions, with your sensations and experiences, and with your body and your breath. And within that, it's an opportunity to honor your feelings without judgment, which can be a big thing, because maybe when you stop, you notice that you feel frustrated, or maybe you feel really sad. And to just be with that and honor that and know that it's okay, and to befriend that as opposed to trying to push it aside. Maybe you also feel joy or a mixture of emotions, and it's a really big deal to just give yourself time to connect with that. So some example mindfulness practices are breathing practices, work with gratitude and compassion, meditation. There's even movement and also mindful eating. I think a really helpful example actually came from our family dog 2 days ago. My daughter looked out the window and said, "Look, Mom, Jack," who's our dog, "is doing mindfulness." And we all stopped and watched, and it was amazing. So Jack is a 2-year-old Australian Shepherd mix that we adopted about a year ago. And 2 days ago in the backyard, he wasn't chasing a ball or going after the squirrels, which he loves to do. When we caught him and my daughter noticed, he actually was stopped. He was seated. He had his head up just a little bit. His eyes were closed, and he was sniffing the breeze. And you could tell he was just letting that beautiful sunshine warm him up. And he stopped just for a few moments, and then he returned to chasing the squirrels or whatever he likes to do. And I thought, wow, right? That's what it can be. And our companion animals can teach us so much. So there's Jack's example. So, the science of mindfulness. Mindfulness is rooted in Eastern traditions such as Buddhism, but at this point, there's a plethora of research about how mindfulness can impact, um, how the positive impacts across multiple contexts, including healthcare, psychology, business, education, and now even vet med. And research has found that practicing mindfulness consistently, even just 5 minutes a day, can help reduce anxiety and depression and also build resiliency. And so there's two areas of the science of mindfulness that I want to share with you today in this webinar. And the first one is the neuroscience behind mindfulness, because I've found this really interesting. So as you know, the amygdala is responsible for kind of that response or reaction to something that might be fear inducing or it's kind of the fight, flight, or freeze response, right? Whereas the prefrontal cortex can help mitigate the amygdala's reaction to whatever the trigger might be, whether that's an email or a conversation with a colleague or a really sick patient or just your own emotions, whatever it might be. And the prefrontal cortex helps with decision making and awareness and focus and also overall regulation of emotion. So, a helpful mindfulness research has shown that with consistent practice, that the amygdala, that flight, fight, or freeze response, actually reduces in size, whereas the prefrontal cortex becomes thicker and expands. And a helpful model for this comes from Dr. Dan Siegel, who's a well-known writer and neuroscientist. And so if you want to try it with me, you can, you don't have to. The idea is that the thumb is your amygdala, and these four fingers are your prefrontal cortex. So you can think about something that might trigger you, whether that's a tough case or an interaction or a really long day, whatever it might be, big or small. And your amygdala starts to respond, and then your prefrontal cortex comes back online and can help soothe that response that's happening. And so when you're doing mindfulness and you're practicing the art of strengthening that prefrontal cortex so that you can respond to the world in the way that you want to, as opposed to reacting and staying in that reaction mode. That for me is just really powerful and something for me to think about as a person and as a parent. The second piece of science that I wanted to share with you is about neuroplasticity. So historically, it's been thought that what we're born with in terms of our brain is what it is, and it's never going to change, and that's just what we've got. And in reality, we've got a ton of research, especially with MRI-based data, on how our brains change with every experience that we have, that our brains are constantly reshaping, and that our thoughts and our behaviors and our activities can actually reshape our brain. So for example, my husband about a year ago started learning how to play the ukulele by watching YouTube videos, and now he's quite skilled at it. And I have no doubt that that's reshaped his brain in various ways. There's also research on cab drivers in London and how spatial reasoning parts of their brain have strengthened and grown as they before they started learning the streets of London and then after they finished that. So a lot of examples of how we're literally reshaping our brain. And we can use that knowledge to focus on positive thoughts and influence the changes that take place in our brain. And at this point, there's research even coming out of the Center for Healthy Minds at University of Wisconsin-Madison showing that just like we know we need physical exercise and how beneficial that can be, that doing mindfulness practices can also be part of our daily or weekly routines, because that consistency can help build resiliency and also positivity. So let's go ahead and get started with 3 different approaches. The first one is breathing. And so like I said earlier, you can use your breath to help your nervous system calm you down. Our breath is powerful and it can bring us back to the present moment and give us a chance to reconnect to our bodies. And so I invite you to just pause and notice your breath for just a second or two. What do you notice? Is your breath smooth or jagged? Is it slow or fast? Whatever it might be, just notice it. And then I invite you to engage in an extended exhale with me. Doing an extended exhale or extending your exhale longer than your inhale can help your parasympathetic nervous system help you feel more content and relaxed and send that signal of I am okay. So let's try it out. I'm going to count 1, 2 as you inhale, and then I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4 as you exhale. And you can have your eyes open or closed, whatever you want. And we'll do this 3 times. Ready? Okay. Get ready to inhale. 1, 2, and then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more time. Inhale. 1, 2. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. I find this to be a really helpful one when I know I need to focus a little more, or if I'm feeling really overwhelmed. I think it could be helpful as you prepare to start your day or close your day, or in the middle if you get just a moment to kind of recalibrate after a tough case, or as you get ready to go into a tricky situation. It can just be helpful to give yourself that extended exhale. The next one that I wanted to share with you is an approach to awareness, and that's really being aware of your body and your emotion. And the thing that is so powerful is that you as vet med professionals know this so well and practice it every day. Your patients can't talk and tell you what hurts and what's wrong with them. And so instead, you have to pause and connect and really check things out, really listen, really pay attention to the cues and kind of trust your gut on what you think is happening. And so I invite you to really step into that the next time that you're in an appointment, to notice, I'm listening to the heartbeat. I'm looking at the eyes of this beautiful creature, what it feels like to touch the fur or the skin of the animal, to really notice the connection that you're creating and the work that you're doing. That already is doing mindfulness, being present and noticing and listening to those cues with curiosity. Then I invite you to apply that to yourself. And I'm going to lead you through a practice now where you can stand up. And if you don't want to and you're seated and you're comfy, then by all means, stay seated. But if you'd like to, I'm going to stand up and lead us through a practice where you can apply that to your body, okay? Okay. So in yoga, this is called mountain pose. So you might be familiar with that. So what you do is you go ahead and stand up or sit up really tall. If you're seated, you can kind of try to get your feet grounded on the floor and just check your posture. If you're standing like me, you want to have your feet about hip distance apart, and you can have your hands out to your side with the palms facing forward. And then just give yourself a chance to notice that you're tall, that you're strong, that you're grounded and steady. And just notice your breath. Take a couple deep breaths. And you can even put your hands on your abdomen and notice your breath. Your hands resting there. Or even one hand on your chest. And again, just notice a couple more breaths. And even notice how you're feeling. Maybe name that emotion. And then in the next moment or two, you can come back, get back to whatever comfy position you want to. The thing with doing that pose is it gives you a chance to apply what you already know to yourself. And you could do this while you're standing, just in a moment during the day, or again, before or after a tough case, or as you get on your car, or as you get ready to get into your car. No one needs to know. Even you could do it seated, just giving yourself a chance to check in with your body, with your posture, with your breath, and maybe even with an emotion that you're feeling. Okay, the last practice that I want to share with you today is gratitude. There has been a plethora of research on gratitude and the benefits that gratitude can have on your overall physical and mental health. Practicing gratitude can impact your emotional well-being and help you feel more positive emotions, and it can help bring greater happiness and also build resiliency, especially in times of adversity. So we could use that right now. The practice of thinking about and or even writing down or telling someone about things that you're grateful for relates back to that neuroplasticity piece, and that you're literally reshaping and reframing the way that you look at the world and your interactions. So right now, things are really stressful. They're scary. There's a lot of uncertainty, and yet we can all try to take one moment a day and maybe think about one thing that we're grateful for. In my life, I am grateful for my family and they're being healthy right now. I'm also thankful for access to food. And then here in Iowa, we're hearing the birds singing in the morning and spring is sprung, and that fills my heart. So I'm grateful for that. So let's try on a gratitude practice. You can have your eyes open or closed, again, whatever feels the best for you. And give yourself a moment to pause, maybe take a breath or two. And then I invite you to think of one thing that you feel grateful for. Maybe it's an item or a person or a place or an animal. Really focus on that one thing. Maybe even visualize details about it. And notice how it feels to feel grateful for that. And when you're ready, you can come back. And I give you the invitation to just notice what it was like to check in with that piece of gratitude. And I also encourage you to think about how could you build this into a daily routine, maybe in the morning or at the end of the day, or maybe you could text a loved one, I'm grateful for you, or I'm grateful for this. Um, if you can't tell someone in person or you can't even write it down, just thinking about it for 10 seconds can really be super powerful for your health and well-being. So I hope that was helpful. So now I want to tell you a little bit more about Peace Within. So Peace Within, as I said earlier, is an online platform that offers mindfulness strategies like those that you just participated in to support well-being in the vet med community. All of the practices are 5 minutes or less. They're simple, they're accessible, they're evidence-based, and are just part of supporting you on your well-being journey. We offer a monthly membership, and part of that is that you receive 3 new practices each month as either audio files with transcripts and also video, as well as a live call to connect with me and with the community, which you can do in an anonymous way. The thing that's really helpful about this approach is that you can do these practices whenever you want, wherever you want. You can repeat the ones that resonate most with you as often as you want. And it's an opportunity to take care of yourself and invest in you on your own time without anyone else knowing, and having that privacy and anonymity, because we don't share your information with anyone. We want to try to help. That's our whole goal. And right now, there's a lot going on. And we thank you for joining this webinar. And so, as an act of gratitude, we want to share a special discount with you. And so, after this webinar is finished, we will email you with the recorded webinar, and then also with the information that I'm going to share. And so, the discount right now for you is that you could sign up for a monthly membership as an annual membership for $4.99 a month. Or if you wanted to just try 1 month and see what that's like for you, that could be $6.99. And the discount code for that is friend. We consider you our friend. So the discount is friend. And if you're a vet med student or a vet tech or a clinic staff member, please go to our website and to the information in the description below to see the rates that we offer to you, the special rates. So I invite you to share, when you get the recording of this, to share this webinar with others, with friends, with colleagues, with family members. And you can even share that discount code of friend with them as well. Perhaps you know that you and a colleague or a friend at another practice across the country want to work together almost as a team or as friends or accountability partners to promote your own well-being. You could join together and try to take care of one another and check in and see what works for you. So that's an offering as well. On our website, we at peacewithinmindfulness.com, we offer free resources, so we encourage you to check those out. We also offer the 5-finger breath as a free demo, as well as a listening strategy, so you can use those as resources as well. If you have questions, feel free to put them in the comments, or if you want to connect with us further, then on our website, you can find our contact information and reach out to us with any questions, or if you're looking for more ideas, or maybe you have another resource that we haven't yet found that we can put on our site. We would love to gather that information as well. So in the email that we send you, we'll give you the webinar recording. We'll give you the information about the special discount with the friend code. And then also we'll have a quick survey. So if you'd be willing to take that, it's 3 questions. I promise it's short. We'd love to get your feedback about what you found helpful and your insights that we can continue to respond to the needs of the community. So right now, it looks like we're waiting for questions, and that's fine. Like I said, you can reach out to us later. If something pops up later tonight, you can pull up our website and send it to us, and I'll be happy to respond to you. Until then, as we start to wrap up, I invite you to pause. I covered a lot in 30 minutes, and I thank you for being here again. And I want you to think about one of the practices that you really liked, that really resonated with you. So we did the 5-finger breath, we did the extended exhale, we did the mountain pose where we were standing with awareness of our body and emotions, and we also did the gratitude practice. So I want to give you a moment to think about which one of those you really liked. And then to think about, how could you try that again later today? How could you use that tomorrow? How could you teach that to a loved one? How could that support you in your goals? And you might even try it out for a few days or a week. You could put it in your calendar as a reminder. I'm going to do a gratitude practice in the morning at whatever time of day works for you. So I offer you that action piece, that challenge, if you will. Okay. That is what I wanted to share with you today. And I want to again say thank you for choosing to take care of you today and for your time. I appreciate you spending this time with us. Thank you for your support and your kindness. May you be well.